Welcome back to the Ghost Story Channel * Darkness in the Night. Today, we are introducing a chilling tale titled Master Ba the Demon Slayer. Before we begin, if you find this story interesting, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel for support. Thank you for listening. Now, let's get started. The sea was as black as ink. Above, heavy clouds swallowed the moon. The wind howled like screams in the night. Waves crashed violently against the shore, spraying white foam. Master Ba pulled his raincoat tighter, trying to keep his conical hat from being blown away. Behind him, T shivered, clutching a cloth bag filled with talismans and ancient books. "Master, I feel so cold," T whispered, his voice trembling. "Hold on, we'll find shelter soon," Master Ba replied, his eyes fixed on the sea. He sensed a strange aura rising from the distant waves, icy, heavy, pressing against his chest. Suddenly, a cry for help echoed from afar. A lone figure waved desperately from a small bamboo boat tossed about by the storm. Without hesitation, Master Ba pulled T toward the shore, wading through salty pools of water. A burly man fought to row against the gale, but the boat spun helplessly. "Careful," Master Ba shouted as a massive wave nearly capsized the vessel. The man leapt into the water up to his waist, dragging the boat toward land. Master Ba rolled up his sleeves and rushed to help. After a fierce struggle, all three managed to haul the boat to safety. The man panted, sweat mixing with rain on his sun-darkened face. He gave a weary yet genuine smile. "Strangers, aren't you? What brings you to the beach on a night like this?" "We're looking for a place to stay," Master Ba answered. "We've been traveling all day." But before we could reach the village, the storm hit. The man nodded and patted Master Ba's shoulder. "My name's Sang. My house is nearby. Come with me. It's dangerous to stay out here." Sang's house was an old but sturdy wooden home, its dark red tiles weathered by sea air. Inside, fishing gear hung on the walls, and a small hearth glowed warmly. T sat by the fire, still shivering, as Sang handed him a dry towel and poured hot ginger tea for both guests. Outside, the wind howled. The crashing waves beat like funeral drums. Master Ba sat silently, listening. The sounds were unnatural, almost like something screaming from beneath the sea. Sang tossed more wood into the fire. "The sea's been fierce lately. Many fishermen dare not set sail. Some went missing, their bodies never found." T's eyes widened. "Missing? Were they pulled away by the waves?" Sang shook his head. "Not waves. They say strange cries come from the sea. Then a dark shadow rises. In the blink of an eye, someone is dragged under. Boats have capsized even on calm nights, as if some invisible hand struck them down." Master Ba looked toward the door, where the thick night seemed to swallow everything. "This shore is filled with dark energy. I felt it the moment I arrived." Sang shuddered. "The elders speak of a sea demon. Long ago, something like this happened, but never as vicious as now." T clung tightly to Master Ba's arm, goosebumps covering his skin. Suddenly, an eerie wail echoed outside, like a whale's call, but sharp and drawn out. All three startled. The door banged open in the wind, spraying sand inside. Sang hurried to bolt it shut. That night, T could not sleep. The pounding surf sounded like knocking at the door. He tossed and turned until sleep overtook him. In his dream, he stood alone on the shore beneath a blood-red moon. From the black waters, a colossal shadow rose, eyes glowing like fire. Its mouth gaped, lined with jagged teeth, as it dragged a fisherman into the depths. The sea turned crimson. T tried to run, but his feet sank into the sand. He woke with a jolt, his back drenched in sweat. Trembling, he stepped outside. On the sand lay a glimmering object washed ashore. He picked it up, a shard of black coral, ice cold to the touch. A chill wind swept over him, and he felt eyes watching from beneath the waves. At dawn, Master Ba saw the coral shard in T's hand and frowned. "This isn't ordinary coral. It's a fragment of a seal. Someone has broken the ward beneath the sea." Sang's face went pale. "If that's true, our village is in grave danger." The three walked to the beach. Before them lay a wrecked ship, half buried in sand. its rotting wood covered in seaweed like the corpse of a giant beast. A suffocating aura rose from it. Master Ba closed his eyes, murmured a short incantation, then opened them with resolve blazing. "We will stay. I must uncover whatever is haunting this sea." The sun had risen high, yet its pale light seemed swallowed by a thick veil of mist. The waves still pounded the shore. Foamy streaks scattered across the sand. Sang led Master Ba and T along the beach, recounting strange happenings of late. Last month, Tin's group went out to sea. That night, the sky was calm, the wind still, but by morning, their boat drifted ashore. Only torn nets and bloodstains remained. Not a single body was found. Sang's voice turned hoarse, his eyes reflecting fear. The whole village searched for days, but all they discovered were scraps of clothing caught on rocks. T swallowed hard, his heart racing. He remembered last night's dream, someone being dragged beneath the sea. Just like Sang's story. Clutching Master Ba's sleeve, he whispered, "Master, it was exactly like my dream." Master Ba nodded, his expression grim. "Dreams of blood and shadows are omens. The demon has begun its hunt." They stopped before the largest house in the village, its red-tiled roof towering over a black-painted gate. Bougainvillea vines spilling across the yard. Sang lowered his voice. "That's Madame Wei's house. Her family was never wealthy. Only after she pulled a black gem from the sea did her fortune rise. People say she keeps a secret altar in her cellar to pray for wealth." "A black gem?" Master Ba narrowed his eyes. "Have you ever seen it?" "No, but they say it's the size of a fist. Glowing like burning coal. Since she got it, Madame Wei hasn't let anyone enter her house after dark. Even her servants were dismissed." A gust of sea wind rattled the wooden gate. Master Ba stood silent for a moment, then said, "Tonight, I'll go there." Sang's face paled. "What are you planning? If she truly practices dark arts, you could be in danger." "Danger is nothing new, but if I don't uncover the source, more villagers will die." Master Ba looked toward the sea, his voice firm. "I cannot walk away." That evening, the cold fell quickly. A thick fog cloaked the village, and faint lantern lights shimmered like wandering spirits. At the second crow of the rooster, Master Ba quietly left Sang's house. T tried to follow, but Master Ba shook his head. "Stay. If I don't return by dawn, seek help." Master Ba walked the narrow path to Madame Wei's home. The night was pitch black, broken only by the rasp of crickets and the murmur of waves. The gate was locked, but through a crack he saw a lantern glowing blood red in the courtyard. The air was thick, laced with a metallic stench. He pushed the gate open and stepped into the yard. The wind whistled through the eaves like muffled sobs. Circling to the back, he found a cellar door, old, locked, but brittle enough to break with one forceful shove. A wave of cold air surged out, chilling his bones. Inside, the cellar was pitch dark, save for a faint glow at its center. Lighting incense, Master Ba descended the stairs. There, on a black wood altar, sat the black gem, pulsing like a heartbeat. Around it were incense bowls crammed with spent sticks, their bitter smoke mingling with the coppery tang of blood. The walls were marked with occult symbols painted in dried fish blood, streaks of red still glistening in places. Approaching, Master Ba pulled a yellow talisman from his robe and placed it on the altar. He began chanting, when footsteps echoed behind him. Madame Wei stood at the stairway, her face ghostly pale, eyes glinting coldly. "Who are you to trespass in my home?" "I am a priest," Master Ba said firmly. "What you worship is no god of fortune, it is a sea demon. If you continue feeding it, your entire village will perish." Madame Wei let out a rasping laugh. "You know nothing. It gave me everything, wealth, land, boats filled with fish. These villagers once scorned me for being poor. Now they bow before me. You are feeding it with human blood. It won't stop until it takes your life as well." Master Ba reached to seize the gem. Madame Wei lunged, clutching the altar, her eyes wild with madness. At that moment, the ground shook. From afar came the thunder of waves. A deafening roar rose from the sea, rattling the cellar walls. The gem flared, flooding the chamber in crimson light. Madame Wei collapsed, trembling. As Master Ba realized, the demon had awakened. He snatched another talisman, chanting to suppress the glow. But the roar grew louder. Joined by villagers' screams, someone shouted outside. A man's been dragged under. Help! Master Ba bolted from the cellar. On the beach, a terrified crowd pointed out to sea. Under the pale moonlight, a massive shadow sank beneath the waves, leaving a gaping whirlpool behind. On the surface, only a tattered hat floated. Cries of grief rose along the shore. Clutching his ancient book, Master Ba's jaw tightened. He knew the demon had fully risen. The next dawn, Sea Village lay under a heavy silence. The ocean was eerily calm. Yet everyone knew another life had been lost the night before. At first light, the villagers cast their nets, searching for the body, but all they pulled ashore were scraps of torn netting. On the sand, trampled footprints mingled with streaks of blood that vanished at the water's edge. Sang stood at the shoreline, fists clenched so tightly his knuckles turned white. Another one gone. If this keeps up, no one will dare sail again. Master Ba knelt in the sand, tracing a small symbol with his finger while chanting. A faint wisp of smoke rose and was instantly swept away by the wind. He scooped a handful of sand into his cloth pouch, his expression grave. The dark aura last night was strong. There is no doubt, the ancient seal has been broken. Whatever lies beneath the sea is trying to return to the surface. Beside him, T clutched the shard of black coral. Trembling, he handed it to his master. Last night I dreamed of it. It looked like a giant fish, but with human arms. It was staring at me, as if waiting for me to come down to the sea. Master Ba held the coral, closing his eyes to sense it. A chill raced down his spine. The shard quivered faintly, glowing with a dim light. He opened his eyes, speaking firmly. This is a fragment of the demon seal. Someone deliberately broke it. Sang inhaled sharply. You mean, Madame Wei? Most likely. Master Ba nodded. The black gem she worships is the demon's temporary vessel. It drains her life while feeding on human blood to grow stronger. All three turned their eyes toward the distant shoreline, where a wrecked ship lay half-buried. Sang motioned for them to follow. The vessel resembled a colossal corpse, split in two. Its timbers rotted and tangled with seaweed. A rank stench filled the air. Strange carvings, faint with age, scarred the hull. When Master Ba touched them, it felt like pressing a still healing wound. From his pouch, he pulled a cloth talisman, pressing it against the ship's side. He tied it with a strand of red thread, and the talisman burst into flame. Smoke spiraled upward before dissolving into the air. T recoiled in fear. Master, what's happening? The old seal was destroyed. This was once where priests imprisoned the sea demon. Now it only needs enough blood to return to its true form. Master Ba clenched his fist. If we don't stop it, the whole village will be its prey. Just then, a group of children ran past, shouting toward the ocean. In the distance, a mass of dead fish floated, drifting ashore. The stench of decay spread quickly. Villagers gathered to scoop them up, whispering anxiously. All knew it was an ominous sign. That night, Master Ba sat by Sang's hearth, slowly opening his ancient book. The yellowed pages, smudged with faded ink, still revealed their secrets. He found the passage on sea demons, ancient spirits bound by whale blood and sacred coral. To destroy one, its vessel must be broken, its essence lured from its host, then sealed again with talismans. T sat quietly, his gaze steadier than ever. Master, this time I'm not afraid. If needed, I'll help you chant the spells. Master Ba smiled faintly, patting his head. Then you'll have to be braver than you've ever been. Outside, the sea wind wailed again, carrying a mournful cry. In the darkness, red eyes glimmered above the waves. The demon had sensed the presence of its hunter. Closing the book, Master Ba looked to Sang. We stay. Tomorrow night, I must enter Madame Wei's house again. If the gem still exists, I'll find a way to claim it. Prepare yourself. The coming battle will not be easy. Sang nodded, eyes burning with resolve. For the village, I'll do whatever it takes. On the beach, the moon rose crimson over the horizon. The waves crashed like war drums. Sea Village lay in a suffocating stillness, as though holding its breath for the horror yet to come. The following evening, the sky over Sea Village was shrouded in gray, as though a vast mourning cloth had been spread across it. No wind stirred, no birds sang, even the waves lapped with eerie regularity, as if the ocean itself was holding its breath. Sang led Master Ba and T to Madame Wei's gate. The tall wooden doors, lacquered black, hung slightly ajar. Inside the yard, bougainvillea vines drooped, their leaves withered, red petals scattered across the ground like streaks of blood. Madame Wei dislikes strangers. Be careful, Sang warned, lowering his voice as if afraid someone might hear. Master Ba nodded and gently pushed the gate. It creaked loudly, the sound slicing through the stillness. A black dog burst from the corner of the yard, barking furiously, until it neared Master Ba. Suddenly it stopped, growling, its hackles raised, eyes wide with fear. The house door swung open. Madame Wei emerged, draped in a purple silk robe, her hair neatly pinned high. Her face was pale, her expression composed, yet her eyes were deep, like bottomless wells. She glanced over the three visitors, lips curling into a faint, unreadable smile. Sang, "It's rare for you to visit. And who might these guests be?" Her voice was husky, strangely alluring. "This is a priest passing through our village," Sang replied, bowing his head. "I brought them to ask if you could shelter them for a few nights." Madame Wei studied Master Ba for a long moment, her gaze sharp as though piercing into his very core. Then she tilted her head and smiled. "If he is a priest, my house always has space. Please, come in." Inside, the air was scented faintly with incense, yet beneath it lingered a subtle metallic tang. Paintings of carp hung on the walls, while a censer smoldered in the center of the room, smoke curling thin and gray. The silence was so complete that every gust of wind outside seemed to howl against the eaves. T sat down on a mat, a shiver running down his spine. He tugged at his master's sleeve. Master Ba only gave him a brief look. Saying nothing, he sensed the densest aura emanating from the back of the house. Near the kitchen, with every draft of wind, the metallic stench from that direction grew stronger. Calmly, he sipped the tea Madame Wei offered, but his eyes scanned the room, committing every detail to memory. "These seas have been fierce," Madame Wei remarked evenly. "The fishermen worry. There are fewer fish. Fortunately, my household still has plenty." "You're not afraid to sail?" Sang asked, his tone tinged with curiosity. She smiled faintly, and the sight made T shudder. "Something protects me. The waves cannot touch this house." The words thickened the air with tension. Master Ba set his cup down, speaking slowly. "But there are things far more dangerous than waves. You should be cautious." For an instant, her eyes darkened, a flicker of red glowed within them like embers. Yet she quickly smiled again, as if nothing had happened. "You worry too much, priest. If demons appear, I'll be sure to call for your help." The visit ended shortly after. Master Ba and T excused themselves. Once outside the gate, T exhaled as though escaping a suffocating room. "Master." Her eyes, "I saw them turn red." "I saw it too," Master Ba answered gravely. "She is no longer entirely human. The dark aura within her is overwhelming." Sang quickened his pace, lowering his voice. "If she truly keeps an altar in her cellar, how can we reach it? No one dares approach her house by day, and at night the gate is locked." "We'll enter tonight," Master Ba said with certainty. "I must see the altar with my own eyes before I can break it." That night, as a dense fog blanketed the village, Master Ba prepared talismans and a long stick of incense. T helped tie red threads around their wrists, his hands trembling though his eyes burned with determination. Sang carried a storm lantern, its flame casting unsteady light over their faces. Silently, they moved through the night toward Madame Wei's home. The waves echoed in the distance, heavy and funereal, like the beat of mourning drums. The village lay in darkness, no other lamps alight, only the flickering glow of Sang's lantern bobbed in the mist, like a wandering spirit fire. From afar, Madame Wei's black gate loomed, dark and still, as though waiting for them. Tonight, we'll learn the truth. Master Ba gripped his ancient book tighter, his eyes cold and sharp. The three of them slipped quietly through Madame Wei's gate. The hinges groaned with a dreadful screech that echoed through the night. Master Ba swiftly drew a talisman and pressed it onto the gate. It shut with no further sound. The yard was shrouded in darkness, their storm lantern casting long, wavering shadows across the ground. They followed a narrow path leading toward the kitchen. The stench of fish blood thickened with each step. T clamped his hand over his nose, yet sweat still streamed down his face. "Is Madame Wei asleep?" T whispered. "Yes," Sang replied softly. "She usually falls into a deep sleep soon after dusk." The kitchen door stood ajar. Master Ba nudged it open. The wood groaned as it swung. Inside was pitch black, the faint drip of water echoing against the floor. Master Ba lit a stick of incense, its red glow flickering across his face like a phantom flame. He searched the room methodically, and soon found a floorboard slightly out of place. Beneath it, an iron handle protruded. He pulled it up, revealing a wooden stairway descending below. A chilling draft rushed from the cellar, making the lantern flame waver dangerously. T shuddered. "Master, it's heavy down there." "Come," Master Ba said firmly. He descended first with the incense. Sang followed, lantern in hand. T trailed last, trembling yet determined to keep close. The cellar was damp and deep, its clay walls reeking of mold. At the base of the stairs, a small chamber appeared. At its center stood a long red-painted wooden altar. Upon it sat a black stone chest, its lid etched with ancient symbols. On either side were large jars filled with fish blood, their stench suffocating. In the lantern's glow, the liquid shimmered as though alive. T froze, his body numb, staring at the chest. He heard whispers coil into his mind, faint yet clear. T, don't look at it," Master Ba warned, pulling him back. He began chanting. The talisman in his hand ignited with light, illuminating bloodstains smeared across the ground and dark ritual circles drawn in black charcoal around the altar. "This is its lair," Master Ba murmured. "Grave. Madame Wei truly is harboring the demon." Sang's voice quavered. "We must destroy it now." "Mustn't we?" "Not yet. If we open the stone chest without the rite prepared, it will escape instantly. We must seal it first, then destroy it." Master Ba withdrew a brush and a vial of red ink. He traced a binding circle around the altar, chanting non-stop. With each stroke, the air thickened, icy gusts whirling from nowhere. Suddenly, a sharp rattling came from the altar. The stone chest shuddered violently, its lid cracking open a sliver. Black smoke poured out, twisting into the shape of a grotesque hand that lunged for Master Ba. He leapt back, flinging a talisman at it. The charm burst into flame, burning the hand to ash. Yet the smoke still churned, roaring like a whale's cry from the abyss. The lantern snuffed out. Darkness swallowed the cellar whole. T panicked, but Master Ba's voice rose above the chaos. Strong and unyielding, he chanted louder, and the binding circle glowed red, forcing the smoke back into the chest. With a deafening slam, the lid shut. The roar ceased. Silence returned, broken only by the stench of blood and their pounding hearts. "It's done," Master Ba panted, wiping sweat from his brow. "The seal is temporary. By the full moon, we must perform the final exorcism." They quickly covered the cellar and left the house. As they stepped into the yard, the crunch of footsteps halted them. Madame Wei stood beneath the moonlight, her face ghostly pale, eyes blazing crimson. "What did you do beneath my house?" Her voice was low and hollow, no longer human. T clung to his master's robe. Sang instinctively stepped back. Master Ba stood tall, gaze unwavering. "Madame Wei, stop before it's too late." She broke into laughter, shrill and echoing across the courtyard like waves striking cliffs. "You think you can stop me? Too late. The sea will swallow this village." With that, she turned and vanished into the shadows. A sudden gale swept the yard, sand and grit swirling wildly. Master Ba tightened his grip on the ancient book, his voice steely. "On the night of the full moon, this will end. After leaving Madame Wei's house, the three returned to Sang's hut by the shore. The wind howled, waves pounded the sand like war drums. The sky was thick with black clouds, the full moon flashing in and out as if hiding from something monstrous. Sang barred the door and lit an oil lamp. Its frail yellow glow threw their shadows across the walls. Swaying with each gust, Master Ba spread open his ancient book, his voice grave. "We don't have much time. The full moon is when the sea demon is strongest. If we don't destroy it that night, the seal will break, and the entire village will be dragged beneath the sea." T huddled close, his eyes wide. "Master, can it kill everyone?" "Not just kill." Master Ba closed the book, fixing T with a piercing stare. "It will turn them into soulless thralls, like dead fish washed ashore. We must act now." Sang tightened his grip on the lantern handle. "Tell me what I must do." "We need the blood of a whale, the South Sea's divine guardian of fishermen. That blood will force the demon to reveal its true form. But we needn't kill a whale. We'll borrow the whale statue at the village shrine and perform a summoning rite." Sang frowned. "That shrine's been abandoned for years. Since the caretaker drowned, no one dares approach. They say his spirit still lingers." "Then we'll go tonight." Master Ba rose, closing the book with care. "If his spirit remains, we'll ask him for aid." The sea wind shrieked like a warning of the coming storm. Cloaked and carrying the lantern, they made their way to the shrine. The path was desolate, filled only with the chorus of insects and the surge of waves. The shrine stood on a small mound, roof covered in moss, its doors slightly ajar. Inside, the air reeked of dampness. On the altar sat a massive whale effigy, carved of wood and rotting with age, yet its sculpted eyes gleamed unnaturally in the dark. Master Ba lit 3 incense sticks and bowed. "Guardian of this shrine, if your soul still dwells here, please appear and help us save the village." A sudden gust swept through, nearly extinguishing the lantern. Incense smoke swirled upward, shaping into a gaunt figure, a ragged man, hair hanging wild, voice raspy. "You dare challenge the sea demon? We seek to save the people." Master Ba replied, kneeling on one knee. "Lend us your strength to complete the rite." The spirit was silent, then slowly nodded. A green light burst from his form, flowing into the whale statue. Its eyes glowed with life, and from its mouth seeped thick crimson blood, dripping into the ceramic bowl Master Ba had prepared. T shivered, heart pounding at the sight. Master Ba remained steady, sealing the bowl with talismans. "Thank you," he whispered. The spirit faded, his final words echoing, "Hurry, before the sea's fury is unleashed." On their way back, the sky churned with thunder and lightning at the horizon. Waves crashed harder, clawing at the shore as if to consume the village whole. At the hut, Master Ba laid out the ritual, a bagua circle drawn with wormwood powder. The whale's blood placed at the center, surrounded by talismans and the shard of coral T had found. Sang readied a wooden blade and cords of red thread. T carefully checked each charm, his hands trembling yet precise. "Master, what if the demon is too strong? Then we'll fight to the end." Master Ba said with a faint smile. "But with you here, I believe we can win." Outside, the storm roared like a raging beast. The full moon finally pierced the clouds, casting silver light over the raging sea. "It's time." Master Ba rose, clutching his ancient book, his eyes blazing with resolve. "Tonight, either we seal the demon, or the village will drown in blood." Sang raised the lantern. T held the shard of coral tight. Together, they walked toward the beach, where the final ritual would begin. That night, the beach blazed white under the full moon. Waves thundered, the wind shrieked like wailing spirits. Master Ba, T, and Sang stood at the center of the sand, encircled by the bagua drawn in wormwood powder. The bowl of whale's blood rested at its heart, the sealing talisman on its rim trembling as if alive. "Begin." Master Ba opened the ancient book, chanting in a deep, resonant voice. His incantation mingled with the roar of the sea, as though the ocean itself answered. T gripped the shard of coral, feeling it grow hot in his palm. Sang clenched the wooden blade, eyes locked on the water. Far out, the sea churned unnaturally, A black whirlpool spread wide, sucking waves into its depths. The salty air reeked of rot. From the vortex rose a towering shadow, scaled, red eyes burning like coals. It strode toward the beach, each step parting the waves. When it reached the edge of the circle, moonlight revealed its form, half human, half fish, claws hooked like sickles, fangs gleaming, but its face, twisted and split, was unmistakably Madame Wei's. Grinning through blood, "You dare seal me?" the demon thundered, its voice like storm clouds breaking. "I'll tear you apart." Master Ba did not flinch. He cast the first talisman, which ignited in midair and formed a blazing shield around the circle. The sea demon roared, recoiling, but then whipped its tail against the sand, sending waves of grit flying like a storm. "It's breaking the circle," Sang shouted, shielding his face. "Hold steady," Master Ba cried. He hurled 3 more talismans. Chanting furiously, the Bagua flared, light cutting the darkness. The demon howled, raising a wall of water high above the shore. T dropped to his knees, clutching the coral shard. The whispers in his mind grew louder. Asterisk, throw me, throw me. He looked to his master. Master Ba gave a single nod. T drew a sharp breath, stood, and raised the shard high, reciting the spell. When he hurled it into the circle, it blazed with blinding light. The beam struck the demon, which shrieked, its body convulsing as scales cracked and fell. Master Ba immediately flung his largest talisman, which struck the demon's chest. A thunderous explosion followed. Light burst forth like a sun at midnight. The demon's eyes flared one last time, searing red, but victory was short-lived. The sand quaked violently. From the sea, countless blackened arms clawed upward, rotting fishermen, the lost villagers, their empty eyes gleaming with death. "They're the drowned," Sang gasped, his face ashen. "It's calling them back." Master Ba gripped the book, sweat streaming but eyes unyielding. "We're not finished. The circle must hold until the final seal. Keep them back," Sang roared, swinging the wooden blade, severing the first hand that breached the line. T staggered but did not falter, holding fast to the whale's blood bowl and chanting in rhythm with his master. The storm screamed, waves crashing, yet the Bagua shone bright as a beacon. The sea demon wailed, its body splitting with cracks that glowed like molten fire. Master Ba raised his voice above the storm, reciting the last spell, seal. A pillar of white light tore the sky, crashing down upon the beach. The sea demon was dragged into the circle's heart, its final roar echoing across the coast. The drowned collapsed, dissolving into foam. The sea surged once more, then fell silent. When the brilliance faded, only the 3 remained, gasping, sand clinging to their sweat-soaked bodies. At the center of the circle lay an ancient ceramic jar, its lid bound tight with crimson seals. The demon was imprisoned within. Master Ba knelt, pressing his hand to the jar. "It is done." T collapsed onto the sand, drenched in sweat yet eyes shining. "Master, we truly won?" Master Ba nodded. Sang exhaled in relief, though his gaze lingered on the dark horizon. "We must take the jar far out to sea. It cannot remain here." "Agreed." Master Ba rose. "At dawn, we cast it into the abyss, where no light shall ever reach." At dawn, a pale light tinted the sea pink, but no warmth came with it. The beach still bore the scar of last night's Bagua circle, like a wound not yet healed. At its center rested the sealed ceramic jar, bound tightly with crimson talismans. Sang prepared his largest wooden boat. "We must take it to Dragon's Abyss, the deepest place offshore. Only there will no one be able to bring it back." Master Ba nodded, setting the jar in the middle of the boat. T sat beside it, clutching it tightly as if afraid it might slip away. The morning sea was calm, yet tension pressed heavy on their hearts. They rowed into open water. As they neared Dragon's Abyss, the wind suddenly rose. The calm sea heaved, waves darkening. From below came a groan like mournful cries. T shivered. "Master, it's still alive. Do not fear," Master Ba said, laying a hand on his shoulder. "It cannot escape." Suddenly the boat rocked violently. A black surge slammed its side, nearly toppling Sang. The jar burned hot in T's hands. Talismans on its lid smoking. The seal is breaking, Master Ba shouted. Quickly, he drew fresh charms with red ink, chanting ceaselessly. But from the sea a vast shadow loomed, like the sea demon, but many times larger. Its form a ghostly silhouette above the waves. It roared, a final cry for freedom. Waves crashed. The boat pitched dangerously. Sang dug his oar deep to steady them. Throw it, now. Master Ba waited for the swell to dip, then lifted the jar high. T. Recite the spell. T trembled but obeyed, his voice ringing clear across the sea. The shard of coral around his neck flared red. Master Ba bellowed the final words and hurled the jar into the abyss's heart. The jar sank. The sea blazed once more as a colossal column of water shot skyward, bursting into countless streaks of light. When the spray fell, the ocean lay still, the wind gone. Master Ba collapsed onto the deck, drenched in sweat. It's done. It's buried forever. Sang exhaled, wiping his brow. I thought we'd capsize for sure. T kept staring at the water, eyes filled with both fear and wonder. Master, could it ever come back? Not unless someone breaks the seal. Master Ba smiled faintly, ruffling his hair. But remember this. Greed must never lead anyone to Dragon's Abyss again. They turned the boat homeward. The sea lay strangely placid, as if no demon had ever lurked beneath. Back at the village, the people crowded the shore. Word of the night's battle had spread. Seeing them return alive, the crowd erupted in cheers. Madame Wei stood among them, her face gaunt, eyes swollen red. I remember nothing, she sobbed, but they say lives were lost because of me. Master Ba nodded, without reproach. What matters now is that you dismantle the altar beneath your home, and never again touch what lies beneath the sea. Madame Wei fell to her knees, begging forgiveness. Later, the villagers built a small shrine by the shore, naming it the Shrine of the South Sea Guardian, to honor the fishermen who had perished. That evening, as peace returned, Master Ba and T packed their things. Sang came to see them off, handing over a basket of fish. Because of you, our village survives. If you ever pass through again, you'll always have a place here. Master Ba smiled. If your village remains safe, I'll be glad never to return. They all laughed. Then Master Ba and T left Sea Village, their figures shrinking along the sandy path. That afternoon the sea sparkled under the sun, as if no nightmare had ever happened. But far below, in the shadows of Dragon's Abyss, the jar lay still, its crimson seals glowing faintly, a reminder that evil never truly vanishes, only slumbers. That night, the villagers of Sea Village held a modest offering ceremony. Incense smoke curled into the air as they laid food upon the sand, praying for the sea god's protection. Children laughed and played around the bonfire, but the adults still cast wary glances toward the black horizon, where the sea swallowed the moonlight whole. Master Ba sat quietly on Sang's doorstep. T rested beside him, eyes distant. Master, I still hear the demon's cries from beneath the sea. Does that mean it's not truly dead? No, Master Ba replied, sipping his tea, voice calm and low. That is only the sound of waves. But the memory is fresh, so your heart mistakes it for the demon's presence. But what if one day someone breaks the seal? Master Ba turned to him, his expression firm. Then you will be the one to seal it again. You recited the incantations well. You're growing. T. The boy smiled faintly, though unease still lingered in his heart. By dawn, with mist still hanging thick, master and pupil readied themselves to depart. Sang walked them to the village gate. You saved us all. I'll remind everyone never to give in to greed again. Greed is hard to extinguish, Master Ba said, adjusting his pack. He looked back at the sea one last time. But may this village remember its lesson. Keep the shrine tended, do not neglect it. That is the only way to keep the sea calm. They left as the sun crept over the horizon, their shadows stretching long across the damp sand. The path out of the village lay silent, only the waves behind them bidding farewell. That night, when the village slept, the beach lay still. Moonlight shimmered on the water, glinting off something drifting ashore. A curious child ran to pick it up, a half-burned talisman. Faint red marks still etched across its surface. Laughing, the child carried it home, unaware of its meaning. Far offshore, Dragon's Abyss loomed black as ink. From its depths rose a low, rumbling sound, so soft it seemed like a sigh. The sea rippled gently, then fell still again, as though nothing had ever stirred. Sea Village enjoyed several weeks of peace. Fishing boats returned heavy with their catch, and the storms no longer raged. Smiles slowly returned to the villagers' faces. Yet in a small thatched hut at the edge of the village, the child who had picked up the talisman still hid it beneath his pillow. One night, the child dreamed of the sea turning black. From the depths, red eyes opened one by one. A whisper filled his mind. Give me back, give me back. He woke in terror, drenched in sweat. Opening his hand, he saw the talisman cracked, leaking a thin veil of smoke. By morning, rumors spread of a fishing boat shattered by waves, its wreck never reaching shore, only streaks of blood floating in the surf. Panic returned. Villagers hurried to the shrine of the South Sea Guardian to pray, but found claw-like gouges raked into the altar wood. Madame Wei rushed to Sang's house. Something strange has happened. I fear the demon has not gone. Sang remembered Master Ba's warning. If ill omens arose, summon him at once. He sent a messenger racing down the sandy road, catching Master Ba and T just as they reached a fork miles from the village. Master, Sang panted, another ship lost. Blood in the surf. The shrine has been clawed. Master Ba's brow furrowed. He turned to T. We sealed it not long ago. If it already shows signs of breaking free, something has weakened the seal. T suddenly recalled the village boy clutching the scorched talisman. Master, I think I know why. They hurried back. The boy sobbed, holding the cracked charm. Master Ba examined it, his face paling. This was one of the seals from the jar. How could it have washed ashore? Has the jar broken? Sang asked. Not yet, but the seal has weakened by half. If we don't reinforce it, the demon will rise again. Master Ba's voice hardened. We must prepare a greater ritual and return to sea. But this time, it will be stronger. A sudden gust howled, sand whipping through the village. From the horizon came a deep rumble that shook the ground. Villagers shuddered. T gripped his master's hand tightly. Master, I'll go to sea with you. Master Ba placed a hand on his shoulder. Stern yet proud. Good. This time, you'll learn to draw the sealing charms yourself. I cannot hold it alone forever. That night, the entire village gathered with torches on the beach. The elders whispered that such a rumble had not been heard since the abyss was first sealed. A dead whale had washed ashore, its back scored with claw marks. Master Ba drove his staff into the sand, sketching a new warding circle. At dawn, we sail. Those who wish to aid us, prepare nets, ropes, wood, and torches. This time, we won't just seal it, we'll bury it deeper. Forever. The people listened in silence, breath held. Every heart knew the nightmare was not yet over. Before dawn, Sea Village bustled like a hive before a storm. Men hauled timber, bound ropes, and readied nets. Women packed rice balls and wrapped provisions. Sang gathered every drop of lamp oil in the village and loaded it onto the boat. On the beach, before a makeshift altar, Master Ba stood with brush in hand, drawing new seals. Sweat beaded on his brow despite the chill air. Each stroke drained him, for these were the Earth Sea Seals, the highest form of talisman to imprison a demon in the ocean's depths. T knelt nearby, watching every movement with rapt attention. Master, may I try? Master Ba studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Do it, but steady your hand, no trembling. T took the brush. At first his strokes quivered, but gradually they grew firm. When he finished, the talisman glowed faintly. Master Ba smiled, patting his head. Good, you are ready. As dawn broke, the party boarded their boat. The air was suffocating with tension. Only the dip of oars slicing water broke the silence. At Dragon's Abyss, the wind began to shriek. The sea darkened from turquoise to black. Huge bubbles boiled to the surface, stinking of rot. Hold fast, Master Ba roared. A pillar of water shot skyward. exploding into spray that revealed something vast below. From the depths, a colossal red eye opened, glowing like molten coal. The water's pressure rocked the boat violently. Sang threw anchor, straining to hold the vessel steady. It's rising. Indeed, from the abyss a titanic arm surfaced, covered in dark scales, gripping the boat's side. The vessel tilted dangerously, nearly capsizing. One fisherman screamed, slipping, but was dragged back just in time. Master Ba flung the first talisman. The moment it touched water, it burst in golden light. The ice squeezed shut, the abyssal beast howling in fury. Waves lashed the bow like whips. Quickly, T drew forth the charm he had made, chanting as his master had taught him, and cast it after. This time, red light fused with gold, forming a suppressive circle around the boat. The sea slowly stilled, though the shadow beneath still lingered. The temporary seal holds, Master Ba said, breath ragged, but only until tonight. We must complete the great rite once ashore. Sang wiped sweat from his brow. If it rises fully tonight, the village won't have time to flee. Then we prepare everything. Tonight will be the final battle. As they rowed back, the sky blackened though it was only midday. Flocks of seabirds scattered wildly. Shrieking, lightning flickered far off, heralding the coming storm. T swallowed hard, staring at the horizon. Master, tonight will be terrible. Won't it? Master Ba clenched his staff, eyes fixed ahead. Yes, and we cannot afford to fail. Night fell with terrifying speed. As the sun sank, black clouds smothered the sky, and the wind howled like ghostly wails. Along the beach, villagers lit rows of torches, their red glow casting long, trembling shadows over kneeling figures in prayer. On the boat, Master Ba donned his exorcist's robe, clutching a peachwood staff etched with spells. T wore the coral shard on his chest, carrying the fresh talismans he had drawn. Sang and a handful of strong fishermen tightened the ropes, preparing to push off. Tonight the winds are vicious, the waves high. Once we leave, there will be no turning back. Sang said grimly. As long as we suppress it, the sea will know peace. Master Ba replied, eyes fixed on the darkness offshore. When the moon vanished behind clouds, they set sail. Waves battered them mercilessly, as though the ocean itself sought to swallow them whole. At Dragon's Abyss, the sea boiled violently. From below radiated a blood-red glow. Suddenly the water split, and a massive form surged upward, the sea demon. Long and serpentine, black scales glinting, its maw bristling with fangs, its eyes burning like blood. Begin, Master Ba commanded. Sang hurled oil-soaked nets, forming a fiery ring around the boat. Master Ba drove his staff into the deck and began chanting. T knelt beside him, laying charms along the gunnels, his voice rising in rhythm. The demon roared, raising a towering wave that crashed against the boat. A fisherman nearly went overboard but was pulled back. Master Ba hurled his largest talisman into the abyss. Golden light erupted, but the demon still fought on. With a thunderous lash of its tail, it shattered part of the fire ring. Water surged in. The flames are dying, Sang shouted. T clenched his jaw and flung the coral shard into the breach. Crimson light burst forth, sealing the gap. The demon shrieked, diving in agony, only to surge up again beside the boat, slamming a monstrous arm down. The vessel lurched violently, water flooding the deck. T was thrown, nearly cast into the sea, but clung desperately to a rope. Still, Master Ba's chant did not falter, his voice cutting above storm and roar alike. At last, as the final verse rang out, the peachwood staff blazed with light. The sea demon screamed, its body splitting as scales burst and fell like burning coal. Master Ba hurled the final sealing talisman. Golden light coiled around the creature, dragging it into the abyss. A mighty gust swept across the waves. The sea stilled, leaving only foamy streaks tinged with blood. Exhausted, the crew collapsed onto the deck. It is finished, Master Ba gasped. This seal binds it deeper than ever. It will sleep beneath the abyss, unless some fool dares break it. T still trembled, but his eyes glowed with pride. Master, I kept the circle intact. You saved us all. Master Ba patted his head with a rare smile. You have become a true exorcist. At dawn they returned. The villagers rushed to the shore, cheering at the sight of them alive. Madame Wei fell to her knees on the sand, sobbing, "Thank heaven, thank you, Master." The shrine was repaired, an altar rebuilt, inscribed with warnings for future generations. The village held a great ceremony to thank the sea. That night, as the full moon shone once more, Master Ba and T sat on the quiet beach. The waves lapped gently, peaceful at last. "Master, do you think another demon will come one day?" T asked softly. "Certainly," Master Ba said, gazing far into the horizon. "And when that day comes, we will fight again. That is the fate of an exorcist." The sea breeze swept away the lingering scent of blood. Yet deep in Dragon's abyss, black scales lay dormant, like seeds, waiting for the day they would awaken. After the battle at Dragon's Abyss, Master Ba and T left Sea Village, traveling south along the coast. For days they walked the shoreline, passing through small fishing hamlets, helping restless spirits find peace. One evening they arrived at an old harbor where merchant ships gathered. Here, fishermen spoke of a remote isle called the Island of Bones. They said that every night drums echoed from its shores, a haunting beat like a summons. Any fisherman who strayed too close heard a strange song and vanished, never to return. An old ferryman warned them, "No one dares set foot there." Long ago, a band of treasure seekers went ashore. They returned with chests of gold, but one by one, each died mysteriously, their mangled bodies washed back to shore. People say a ghostly woman guards the treasure. "Take it, and she will kill you." Hearing this, T looked to his master. "Master, could that be sorcery too?" "Not necessarily," Master Ba replied, eyes deep with thought. "It may be the spirit of one who died unjustly, but it could also be something far more malicious." That night they rented a room near the docks. At midnight T dreamed he stood upon a strange beach beneath a blood-red moon. The waves crashed crimson, staining the sand. Upon the shore lay heaps of human skeletons, stacked in a circle. At its center stood a woman in tattered white, her long hair veiling her face. She sang a lament, each note slicing into his ears. Asterisk, "Come here," asterisk, her voice echoed. Asterisk, "Bring me back, repay me in blood." T awoke in a cold sweat. Looking from the window, he saw far out at sea a flickering flame on the horizon, like a torch beckoning. At dawn he told Master Ba of his dream. The master considered, then nodded. That was no ordinary dream. It was a summons. The spirit on the island knows you can sense it. It is calling us. "Then, we're going?" T asked, torn between fear and curiosity. "We must. If it remains, more lives will be lost." They hired a small boat, packing talismans, the peachwood staff, and a bronze bell for summoning spirits. The ferryman refused to take them, but a young dockhand named Hao volunteered. "My father vanished on that island," Hao said, determination burning in his eyes. "If a ghost killed him, I want to see it. And if it was for treasure, I want to know why he died." At dusk, they set sail. The sea lay eerily calm. T clutched the coral shard, chilled to the bone as though nearing a graveyard of countless souls. When the island's shadow emerged from the mist, the distant drums began, slow, steady, like the heartbeat of a giant in the night. The stench of blood drifted on the wind. Master Ba gripped his staff, voice low. "We've reached the gate of death. From this point, speak no names, make no loud sound, or the spirits will hear." Hao's torch flared in the wind. Before them, the island rose from the sea like a colossal skull. The boat touched shore under the cover of night. The island lay silent save for the crash of waves and the drumbeats echoing from deep within the jungle. The air reeked of iron and rot, as though the beach itself had once been drenched in blood. Hao was the first to leap onto the sand. "My father vanished here," he whispered. "They found his boat, but not his body. Only a rope stained with blood." T clutched his peachwood staff, shivering. "Master, why is it so cold?" "This island is a grave," Master Ba said grimly. He drove a talisman into the sand and murmured an incantation. A faint circle of light formed around them, a fragile cocoon of protection. They followed a narrow path into the jungle. Moonlight spilled silver across gnarled, lifeless trees, their shadows stretching like clawing arms. Every rustle seemed to echo with menace. After some distance, they came upon a circle of stones. Within it lay dozens of skeletons, arranged neatly, as if placed by deliberate hands. Master Ba knelt, sprinkling rice powder, muttering, "These people died together, in a single rite. This is a sacrificial formation. Whoever built it wielded dark power." Suddenly, a song drifted through the mist. At first faint, like wind through leaves, then clearer, piercing, a woman's voice, haunting, mournful, each word stabbing the ear. Asterisk, "Come here, your blood, repay me." T clutched his master's sleeve. "Master, it's coming." Fog rolled in, chilling them to the bone. A white figure appeared, her hair veiling her face, her tattered gown fluttering, a small drum in her hands. She beat it slowly, each strike echoing like a heartbeat. "Father, are you here?" Hao suddenly cried out. A fatal mistake. The figure snapped her head toward them. Her pallid face emerged, eyes black pits of endless depth. She screamed, a shrill, piercing shriek. Wind howled, sand whirled like knives. "Run!" Master Ba shouted. He hurled a talisman that burst into flame, staggering the ghost for a heartbeat. They bolted, scrambling toward a rise of earth. When at last they stopped to breathe, the song returned, closer now. T trembled. "She's following us." Master Ba planted 3 talismans into the ground, forming a glowing circle. Inside, now, the ghost stopped at the circle's edge. She laughed, a sound so twisted it broke Hao's resolve. He wept openly. She raised a hand, pointing toward the forest's heart. Her voice seeped from the ground itself. Asterisk, "You want the truth? Follow me." Then she dissolved into mist. The jungle fell silent once more. Hao collapsed onto the sand. "Where does she want to take us?" "To the place where the truth lies buried," Master Ba replied, wiping sweat from his brow. "But not tonight. We cannot go deeper in the dark. At dawn, we'll follow." T stared uneasily at the blood-red moon above the sea. "Master, I fear by morning it may already be too late." Master Ba's gaze lingered on the night sky, heavy with dread. "Perhaps, but if we go now, none of us will live to see the truth." They lit a fire within the talisman circle and sat in silence through the long night. From the forest, the drumbeat never ceased, steady, relentless, a grim reminder that the true confrontation awaited them at daybreak. Dawn broke, its pale light filtering through the withered trees. None of them had truly slept, only waited for daylight to march into the island's heart. Master Ba gathered the talismans, his face stern. "Today will decide everything," he told Hao and T. "If we fail, the spirit of this island will spill across the sea." They followed the path the white apparition had shown the night before. The deeper they went, the softer the ground became, as if blood had seeped into the very soil. The drums grew louder, joined by faint sobs. At last they reached a wide pit. At its center stood a massive drum, ancient and decayed, yet still beating by itself. Around it lay hundreds of skeletons, piled high, some still clad in scraps of clothing, prison garb, villagers' tunics, sailors' coats. T swallowed hard. "Master, what happened here?" Master Ba lifted a fragment of bone. Studying it, his voice was grave. This was a place of living sacrifice, likely to pray for rain or prosperity. But one woman was slain unjustly. Her soul grew so strong it devoured the others to endure until now. A cold wind rose. The white figure manifested within the pit, her face now clear, eyes weeping blood, lips curled in a sorrowful smile. "You've come," she intoned, her voice ringing inside their skulls. "I've waited centuries. My blood was spilled here. I demand the blood of all who stole my life." "Who killed you? Why?" Hao shouted. She turned toward him, voice trembling with rage and grief. "My own people. They offered me as sacrifice to the sea god. I was with child. I begged to live. But they bound me, cut me, buried me alive. That night I cursed them all." T's chest ached with pity. "Master, Can we help her find peace? Master Ba nodded. Only if she abandons her hatred. He drew out the bronze bell. Ringing it, the clear tone cut through the suffocating air. He spoke firmly. You've had your vengeance. Generations have suffered for your curse. Continue like this, and you'll become a demon, forever trapped. The ghost shrieked. I don't care. I want them all dead. A storm of wind erupted. The skeletons rose, moving like puppets under her will. Hao swung his staff, smashing several, but there were too many. T, the quarrel, Master Ba shouted. T hurled the shard. The master etched a blood sigil upon it, chanting swiftly. The quarrel blazed with white light, flooding the pit. The spirit writhed. No, stop. Release your hatred. Return to the earth, Master Ba cried, casting the quarrel into the drum. A deafening blast shook the ground. The drum shattered into dust. Skeletons collapsed into white sand. The spirit fell, her eyes clearing at last. Tears streamed down her face. Thank you. I just wanted to see my child. With that, she dissolved into mist, ascending skyward. The wind stilled. Silence reclaimed the forest. Hao collapsed, weeping. Father, at last, this island is free. Master Ba sighed, gathering the talismans. No more drums. The island is cleansed. They built a great mound in the pit, placing a wooden marker. Here rest the wronged souls. May they find peace. As they left, the sea shimmered bright and calm. Hao chose to remain at the harbor, to tend the island as a shrine. Master Ba and T moved on, carrying the heavy memory of a woman forced to die and the lesson of blood sacrificed for fortune. Far offshore, sunlight glinted on the waves. T looked back toward the island and thought he heard a soft song, this time gentle, like a farewell. And so this story ends. Thank you for listening until the very last moment. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and subscribe. That support means everything and helps us bring you more ghost tales. If you have questions or notice mistakes, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. This is *Bong Toi Trong Dem*, and we'll see you in the next story.